Everywhere I look, it's beautiful. And I want you to think about how beautiful it is in your little nook of the woods, even if it's your house. Look around you. All those kids that are driving you crazy. Maybe just one, maybe none. Maybe you want to have kids. I don't know. Maybe you're sitting around watching all these things on social media about parents who are like, what do we do with our kids? We don't spend time with them like this ever, like this, like every day, 24/7. Well, besides when they're sleeping, right? I guess I just started thinking about how when I homeschooled my two daughters, it was like that was a way of life that I had chosen, but my husband was never home. He was a workaholic and he was just gone. As a fireman, he was gone all the time. So I really want to just say something to you people who are homeschooling your kids now. I don't even like to call it homeschool because then you start thinking we need to make this into a school and we overthink it, and someone says, surprise, your kids are at home now, here's their lessons, who knows how long it's going to last, but you get to be responsible for teaching them all the stuff that we as teachers have been teaching them all along, for those of you who aren't already homeschooling. I mean, talk about a shock, talk about a huge responsibility. Now, it's not like you're working, maybe you're working inside the home, maybe you're home. Either way, it's something new you may not know anything about. So I'm here to tell you that you don't have to. You don't have to. I'm going to give you a little bit of perspective. Please let me give you some perspective. I want you just to look at this whole experience like, well, what it really is. You are not their teacher, okay? You are their guide. You're just a guide to your kids during a time that is unexpected, just like the rain I think is going to come down pretty soon here. So I'm going to wrap this up and make it quick and tell you that here, number one, you are their guide. You are their guide through this difficult time, but it doesn't have to be difficult. You need to guide them through this unique experience that they get to have in their life, which is rare, and it's going to create some beautiful things. But one of those beautiful things is that you get to spend time getting to know your child, your children. You get to sit down with them and see how they learn. I mean, if you never homeschooled like I had, like you wouldn't know, like when they're sitting in a classroom being taught math, where they get stuck, where in the processing center with them, where do they have difficulty? So you get to see it with your own two eyes. You get to watch them struggle and say, wow, that's where they're having problems. So when you do start school again and you're talking to their teachers or they're coming home with schoolwork, you're going to remember, this is what I know you have a little difficulty with. That's one huge advantage. You're getting to know your kids better. They're going to probably want to do better in school after this because they're either going to appreciate their teacher, not because you were bad, but they're going to appreciate their teachers more, or they're going to feel like, you're invested in them now, so you're going to be invested more later. So that's a perk right there too. And one thing I recommend is you kind of get to know your kids' learning style. There's a lot of information on Google that you can look up your learning style and have your kids do a little test, or you could do it for them to find out what their learning styles are. Because if you're an audible learner and you're being told to read a book and a lot of reading, you can show your child some alternative ways to get around that so they can thrive even more in school. And if they're kinesthetic, you can use their toys, you can bring objects around, you can use a camera to teach them all kinds of stuff. And if they're tactile, if they're audible, if they're visual, there's so many things that you can do to make school fun. And really, that's the key word. It's fun. You need to be fun because kids love things that are fun. It doesn't matter what age. Just be age appropriate for them. Ask them what they enjoy. Keep it simple. Keep it fun. And if you feel like you're not having fun, stop. Take a break, because breaks are just as important as the school and the lessons that you're doing, because breaks give your mind time to relax and gives them time to get their energy out if they're exercising, hopefully during those times. But it's been proven scientifically that if your brain stresses out, it cannot take in information. You cannot learn in a state of stress. So if you're starting to sense that things are getting stressful, crack a joke, get up, walk around, take a 10-minute break. That's not going to be only beneficial for your kid, but it's going to be really beneficial for you because you don't want to be stressed out. If you're going into this feeling stressed, you can change that state. You could look at it differently. You're not their teacher. You're their guide, okay? You're just the guide. Remember when we had when you were younger and you had the substitute teachers, and nobody looked at that teacher like, really, they're going to teach us everything we need to know. It was just sort of like, they're going to guide guide us through this day or this time. I know it's a longer time, but you're going to guide us through this period so we can get back to our regular thing, right? That's how you need to look at it. So you're not responsible for all this heavy stuff that you're putting on yourself, which I know because I would do it, especially if some of you are perfectionists like me and you think, I've got to do a really good job. I got to show their teacher I'm doing a good job, and I've got to make sure my kids know how smart I am. And baloney, don't do it. Don't fall into that, because that's just going to make this whole wonderful, unique experience that you have right now something that could end up being negative. It could be something you regret, and your kids be like, this is how we handle stress. This is what we do. This is a prime time to teach your kids how to handle stress. So show them how to find the rainbow in the middle of the storm instead of waiting till after the storm. Sometimes the rainbow never comes. So you can teach them to have fun while they're learning, and then teach them some really cool skills about how to manage their own schooling and their own learning. I homeschool both my daughters. They're 21 and 23 right now, but when I was starting my homeschool experience, I was married. I had lots of support around me. But when we divorced and my mom got dementia early onset at the age of 59, she needed 24-hour care, and that was from me. I lost all my family, all through the divorce. I had nobody left to help me. And I still managed to do what I don't even like to call homeschool, home-based learning. I did it by basically living and involving them and talking to them and treating them with respect and including them in the help. And when we went to the store, I explained what we were doing. And you know, it was really great because I was stressed out. I thought, they're not learning enough. There's no way they could be learning everything they need to be learning in this chaos, because we're not sitting down at a table every day doing our schoolwork. I had tons of resources I had bought at the store so that they could, learn everything they needed. No, we didn't do any of it. Like, most of the time it was just like, okay, go watch this educational movie or documentary. At least I feel like they're learning something. But the really cool thing is, they learned so much. They literally learn through life. And that's what they're going to learn. They're going to learn. My kids ended up going to school, being honor students, finishing high school, finishing college, and they're great people. So don't be so hard on yourself. I'm talking fast because I think the rain's coming. It's coming now. It's coming down. Perfect timing. This is for you. Now we're going to breathe. I should have done that before. Take a deep breath. If it rains, it rains. You can always dry it off. If the sun comes out, notice it. Teach your kids about the now. Teach them that you care, and you don't have to be smart to teach your kids, because you have Google, which should be now your best friend. Use Google, use the internet, and have fun. You really are in a good spot. Okay, bye for now.